Actors become overnight celebrities when they land that perfect role on a hit show or movie. But things move fast in Tinseltown, and they're often fired just as quickly. Hey there, I'm Nostalgic Nick, and this installment of Do You Remember, we're gonna discuss some of the most famous celebrities who got fired from Hollywood. So have you ever wondered which actors got fired from which TV shows? Does getting fired from a film affect that actor's career? And has an actor ever been fired while on set? You won't want to miss these shocking answers, but before we begin, please hit the thumbs up icon to show us support. And subscribe to the channel so we can notify you about future content. Now it's time to find out which celebrities suddenly found themselves in the unemployment line. Sylvester Stallone. In Beverly Hills Cop, Eddie Murphy plays the wisecracking detective whose murder investigation takes him from the Motor City to the mean streets of 90210. But can you believe the iconic role of Axel Foley first went to Sylvester Stallone? Stallone was an accomplished screenwriter, so he had plenty of notes on the script once he was cast. For instance, he wanted to rename the leading character Axel Cobretti, and also transform the film into an action thriller. But the cost of his ideas exceeded the film's budget, and Sly was sacked 2 weeks before production began. Good thing too, as Beverly Hills Cop was the top-grossing film of 1984 and helped make Eddie Murphy one of the biggest stars in Hollywood.
You're a disease, and I'm the cure.
Axel Cobretti eventually became Lieutenant Marion Cobretti for the 1986 film Cobra, which also starred his wife number 2, Brigitte Nielsen. Roseanne Barr. Comedian and self-proclaimed domestic goddess Roseanne Barr became an unlikely role model for working-class housewives throughout the USA. During Roseanne's 9-year run on ABC, it won an Emmy, a Golden Globe, a Kids' Choice Award, and 3 American Comedy Awards. But Barr got herself in some trouble in 1990 after performing a very off-key rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner at Jack Murphy Stadium. Then grabbing her crotch and spitting. She claimed the Padres asked her to bring humor to the song, but America was not amused. President George H.W. Bush called her actions disgraceful. As we know, Roseanne returned to the airwaves in 2018 for a 10th season, and it was such a hit that ABC greenlit another season a few days later. But all that changed after Roseanne made a racist tweet about President Barack Obama's senior advisor Valerie Jarrett, and the show was abruptly canceled a few hours later. Roseanne apologized, but the damage was done, and ABC President Channing Dungey called the tweet abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with our values. Barr later made an agreement with Tom Werner to relinquish her producer's stake in Now the Connors, which is currently in its 5th season on ABC. JeanClaude Van Damme. 7'3" stuntman Kevin Peter Hall donned the alien suit in the 1987 action hit Predator, but was cast as a last-minute replacement for the martial arts superstar Jean-Claude Van Damme. Van Damme was told he'd be wearing special effects makeup and a form-fitting leotard, and was surprised to learn that the costume was a full-body rubber suit on stilts. Van Damme said it was difficult to see or breathe in the costume, and that he'd likely break his arms if he fell. In a 1989 interview with Starlog, Van Damme claimed the final straw happened when he refused to make a big jump. He also claimed that something bad happened to the stuntmen they hired to do that jump. According to The Hollywood Reporter, there are up to 6 conflicting reports about why Van Damme got the axe, but both the stunt coordinator and first assistant director deny that anyone was injured on set. Lisa Bonet. The free-spirited Denise Huxtable frequently clashed with her on-screen dad on The Cosby Show, and Lisa Bonet's personal life created friction with Cosby behind the scenes. Bonet became one of the original leading characters in the spin-off A Different World, but Denise was written off the show after she announced her pregnancy. Bill Cosby was critical of Bonet's involvement in the erotic thriller Angel Heart, and believed her decision to pose topless for Interview magazine damaged The Cosby Show's wholesome reputation. Producer Debbie Allen suggested writing the pregnancy into A Different World, and Cosby replied, quote, "Lisa Bonet is pregnant, but Denise Huxtable is not." Needless to say, Bonet did not rush to Cosby's defense when sexual assault allegations began surfacing in 2000. When asked for comment about her former boss, Bonet said, quote, "There was no knowledge of my part about his specific actions, but there was just energy, and that type of sinister shadow energy cannot be concealed." Jay Thomas. Radio personality Jay Thomas was a recurring character on Cheers, portraying Boston Bruins goalie Eddie LeBecq. Eddie became Carla's on-screen love interest, and playing the role apparently tested the limits of Thomas's acting abilities. When a listener called into his radio show and asked what it was like to be on Cheers, he responded, quote, "It's brutal. I have to kiss Rhea Perlman." Well, Cheers co-creator James Burrows did more than just fire the radio host, he killed off Eddie's character with the best off-screen death ever, a Zamboni accident. Burrows said, quote, "He insulted Rhea, which meant he insulted all of us. Continuing, in our world, you don't wind up sleeping with the fishes, you die a violent yet comedic death." Judy Garland.
Yeah, we can turn around, Judy, please.
Huh?
I'll turn around.
Without a cigarette and a blindfold.
Jacqueline Susann's 1966 novel Valley of the Dolls is considered a roman à clef, based on the lives of Judy Garland, Carol Landis, Dean Martin, and Ethel Merman. Judy Garland inspired the pill-popping ingenue Neely O'Hara, but she was already too old for the role. Garland was instead cast as Helen Lawson to add some star power to the film adaptation. Patty Duke played Neely and recalled that Garland was charming and funny on set. But Duke claimed that director Mark Robson often kept her waiting to film, and she couldn't function very well after spending all day in her dressing room, presumably being plied with pills and cocktails. After a month of filming, 20th Century Fox president Richard Zanuck told Garland, quote, "It's better that we just call it a day," and he replaced her with Susan Hayward. Die-hard Garland fans believe she got the raw end of the deal, and the film was beneath her talents. But she received half her promised paycheck and wore the beaded pantsuit from her wardrobe test at concerts for years. Chevy Chase.
"Pierce, you've had 3 flu shots. That's for the daycare center. I'll be a living God!"
When Chevy Chase was cast as the tycoon Pierce Hawthorne in Community, it was considered a comeback. Chevy Chase's most successful projects were decades behind him, and he earned a reputation for being difficult to work with over the years. During one return to Saturday Night Live, Will Ferrell claimed Chase was insulting to the cast and crew and sexually harassed a female writer. Community creator Dan Harmon also found Chase very difficult to work with and said he frequently left the set or refused to shoot scenes if he didn't like the material. While filming the season 4 episode Advanced Documentary Filmmaking, Chase became angry about the direction of the scene and uttered a racial slur before storming off set. Chase and Harmon also had a heated argument during the episode's wrap party, and an angry voicemail that Chase left for Harmon was leaked online.
"I don't get talked to like that by anybody, certainly not in front of my wife and daughter, you goddamn asshole."
Chevy Chase and NBC agreed it was best for him to leave the show, but the actor has yet to show any remorse for his actions. He told one interviewer, quote, "I don't give a crap. I am who I am, and I like who I am." Charlie Sheen.
"I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?"
Charlie Sheen's struggles with drugs and alcohol have been tabloid fodder for decades, and one particular bender in 2011 got him fired from 2 shows at the height of his popularity. Sheen was the highest paid actor on TV, making $1.8 million per episode of 2.5 Men, and $2 million per episode of Anger Management. According to Warner Brothers, Sheen routinely forgot lines, showed up late, and missed rehearsals. And in multiple interviews, he openly criticized the series creator Chuck Lorre. He called Lorre a clown and a stupid little man, and then had a highly publicized social media meltdown. He told interviewers he had tiger blood and Adonis DNA. And he famously created the winning hashtag to proclaim his superiority. After Sheen was officially fired, he released a statement expressing relief, saying, "I never have to put on those silly shirts for as long as this warlock exists in the terrestrial dimension." Kevin Spacey.
Of all the things I hold in high regard, rules are not one of them.
Academy Award winner Kevin Spacey was fired from the Netflix show House of Cards in 2020 after numerous sexual misconduct allegations surfaced. The Rent star Anthony Rapp claimed that the then 26-year-old Spacey made an unwanted advance at a 1986 party when he was only 14. Rapp sued the actor for sexual assault, and 15 other individuals soon came forward with similar allegations, including 8 who worked on House of Cards. Spacey kind of apologized to Rapp on Twitter, saying, quote, "I choose now to live as a gay man. Okay, but I kind of miss the remorse there." Members of the LGBTQ community, including George Takei, Lance Bass, and Wanda Sykes, did not appreciate the way Spacey came out, or the implication that his homosexuality was an excuse for the sexual contact with a minor. Filming was immediately suspended on the 6th and final season of House of Cards, which was shortened from 13 episodes to 8. Spacey was removed from the cast and his executive producer role, and Netflix severed all ties. Spacey had already shot his scenes as industrialist J. Paul Getty for the film All the Money in the World, but he was replaced with Christopher Plummer, and the scenes were reshot. Life in the spotlight isn't for the faint of heart, and even the biggest stars in Hollywood find themselves out of work at the drop of a hat. We all enjoy watching the rise of our favorite actors' careers, but maybe not as much as we like watching them fall. So now we want to hear from you. Do you remember when some of these stories were in the news? Which story did you find the most shocking? And did we leave anyone out? Get in the comments and let us know. If you enjoyed our deep dive, please give this video a thumbs up to show support. And subscribe to our channel so we can notify you about future videos. From all of us here at Do You Remember, we want to thank you for watching.